Your friendly neighborhood YouTuber is rated PG-13. Parental advisory, explicit content, viewer discretion is advised.
Someone should turn up the heat. It's about to get really chilly in here. Hey, what's up, peeps? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, guys, and we are back here again with another action figure review. Alright, guys, so today we're going to take a look at this classic Mr. Freeze. I was going to say Iceman. As you guys know, I've been doing some icy reviews as of lately. So as you guys see to the right and to the left, we have the Sub-Zero right here. Iceman Sub-Zero, one of my favorite figures in my entire collection. Don't know what I like about him, but I really do like him. And it's off to the side. If you guys didn't see my last review, I did a tutorial custom review of X-Men The Iceman. The Iceman cometh. So if you guys didn't see that review, check it out. That was my last review. So I figure we would take a look, keep it in the ice ice category, I guess. I don't know. Ice theme. Ice, baby. I figure we take a look at this classic Mr. Freeze from the, I believe, the Greg Capullo series. Okay, if you guys don't know, if you haven't been watching my videos, he was in one of my previous Geek Hall videos, Toy Haul videos. And I've had him in my box sitting over there for a while. Been waiting for the right time to review this guy. And today just happens to be this day to review this figure. And one of the main reasons why I'm reviewing this figure is because I have another figure coming up tomorrow that I'm going to be reviewing in the DC lineup. A new DC figure. So as you guys can see, we have the two Icemen. To the side, we have some other reviews, other comparisons we're going to do as well. So, but first and foremost, oh yeah, we're going to do comparisons with other DC villain icons as well. So, like I said, this is from the Greg Capullo series, guys. So we have Iceman right here, probably one of the best probably one of the best Mr. Freezes in the ever made in as far as DC is concerned. His helmet pops off, so if you don't want the helmet to be on there, the helmet pops off. Yeah, and out of all Mr. Freezes that are out there for you guys to purchase, I think this is the best one. The Arkham Asylum one was okay, but I like the Greg Capullo one just a little bit better. Put the cap back on him because it wouldn't be Mr. Freeze without him. And actually, let's take the cap off him so you guys can see a better detailed look of his head sculpt. So I'll show you the body of Mr. Freeze, then we'll go into the articulation. Beautiful design. Probably, in my opinion, the perfect Mr. Freeze, the perfect skin tone. I love the blue skin tone of this Mr. Freeze. I love the wardrobe. This right here, I guess maybe canisters for this Mr. Freeze. These are rubberized on here, but they are not removable. They are sculpted into his pants. The knee pads, the armored knee pads, and then you have the armored shoes as well, which I really, really dig. Articulation, just knee bend. You don't need much articulation with Mr. Freeze because I don't think of him as a very flexible character to begin with. Breaks at the upper thighs, and he does have your DC splits where Mr. Freeze can do the splits very awkwardly. He has some very long legs when you do that, but he does have long legs overall in general. So on the back, he has the container, the canister, in which he holds the, I don't know what you would call it, the contains maybe liquid, maybe nitrogen, liquid nitrogen, my guess. If you guys know, let me know. Awesome detail to the canister and canisters, should I say. And it has the piping going up through here, going to his chest. Or maybe, yeah, maybe it is liquid nitrogen that's going up to his chest and then releasing it into his helmet right here that's helping him breathe and helping him stay alive. So he does come with this gun right here. And his hand did pop off right here, guys. So I have to be careful with this right here. Because I had to glue his hand on because it popped off. But he does come with this gun right here, which is not articulated. It comes with his freeze gun, like so. You can turn his arm like that. He holds it awkwardly, but then again, he has no movement in his wrist because it's glued on there because it broke off. He comes with an open hand as well. Very nicely detailed open hand. I really, really like this Mr. Freeze. And his arms do extend out that much. So he does have, he can extend out for a nice cold hug. Arms bend that much, no 90-degree turn. I'm not going to have him holding the gun up like that. It's going to be off to the side like that. If you want, you could have him posed like this. Like, come to me, or like this. It depends. I really, really like this Mr. Freeze, man. I think he's really, really awesome. So, he's not really great at standing. He does have a peg hole, which, let's see if he can peg into here. And yeah, so we'll peg Mr. Freeze into there. And if I called them Iceman before, and if I didn't catch it, apologies, man, because I've been reviewing a lot of icy figures lately. So there is Mr. Freeze. Let's do some measuring, and then we'll do some comparisons, and then I'll give you my rating of this Mr. Freeze. I feel like this guy deserves a review because I think he's really, really awesome, guys. Mr. Freeze stands at, all the way going up, all the way to his helmet, he's at 7.5 inches tall. I like this Mr. Freeze, man. I think he's really, really awesome. I'm glad to have this guy in my collection. I think he's superb. So here is Sub-Zero Iceman standing next to Mr. Freeze. They both stand about the same height. Mr. Freeze is probably a little bit taller. I should say Mr. Freeze stands probably under 7.5 inches because he's standing on a base, but it doesn't give him much height, but he's still under 7.5 inches. This Sub-Zero, he stands at around 7 inches. So you could say Sub-Zero is shorter than Mr. Freeze, but if you take off his hat or his helmet, then there's somewhat of the same height. Put the helmet back on, and Mr. Freeze is a little bit taller. He has a little bit more of the edge. My last review I did, my custom Iceman right here. Marvel Legend. This is how they measure up right here. It's almost like his son, right? Okay. One of the last DC figures that I did, we have the Unchained Armor Superman right here from McFarlane. If you guys need to see a review of that, check it out. But you can see that they are, well, Unchained Armored Superman is taller. But compared to Mr. Freeze is a pretty big guy. He's a pretty tall guy standing next to Unchained Armored Superman. There's Sub-Zero slipping on his own ice. Next one up, just for the hell of it, because he's blue, I would bring in Mad Predator here because he kind of has like a blue theme going on, so I figure why the hell not. So this is how the Predator and Mr. Freeze. This is one of Mr. Freeze's Dominions right here. He works for Mr. Freeze. I mean, You could say Predator is part of the DC universe because he has battled Batman before. So you could say Predator is one of Batman's arch nemesis, right? Because there has been a storyline of Batman versus Predator. So yeah, I mean, you could say he's part of the DC villains lineup. So there is the Predator. So let's bring in some villains. Actually, let's bring in a hero. So here is another figure from the Greg Capullo series. This is one of my favorite figures, favorite DC figures, because simply I just love her face. This is Batgirl right here, standing next to Mr. Freeze. Greg Capullo, amazing artist, and they did an amazing job with this lineup. It's an older lineup, but I think it still holds up this day. Hence, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing reviews of these figures. Is I like to do reviews of figures that still hold up, man. That's one of the main reasons why I do a lot of Spawn reviews, is because a lot of those figures still hold up today. So there was Batgirl standing next to Mr. Freeze, bringing another classic icon. Speaking of icon, this is from the DC Icons lineup. This guy, Joker, he's more smaller. He's from more of a smaller lineup. I need to get a bigger Joker. But he's from the smaller lineup, the DC Icon series. He's more in the 6-inch range. That's why he measures up so well with the Marvel Legends Iceman back here. And then we bring in from the Multiverse movie, one of my other favorite figures in my entire collection, DC. Not only DC, but my entire collection overall. We have the DC Multiverse Penguin standing next to Mr. Freeze. And I definitely would love to see Mr. Freeze brought to the big screen in the right way. And if you're going to do it in the right way, this is right here. This is the perfect example to bring Mr. Freeze to the big screen, because this look overall is just a really, really classic look. So if anybody watching, which I doubt they are, any big-time directors watching this review, this is how you bring Mr. Freeze to the big screen. Okay, guys. So there was my little review of Mr. Freeze. A well-deserved review for Mr. Freeze. I think he's awesome. I think he's epic. Let me give you my rating of Mr. Freeze. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, I'm going to be very, very generous, guys. And I think this guy is at 8. It's not a solid 8, but nonetheless, it is an 8. I really, really like this Mr. Freeze. So if you guys are looking for the perfect Mr. Freeze, I think he's really awesome. Next to the animated series version of Mr. Freeze, I think this guy is awesome. And he's about as a realistic Mr. Freeze as you're possibly going to get. So I say definitely add this guy to your collection if you guys are looking for a really awesome Mr. Freeze character. I think they did an amazing job with this figure. One last shot before we end this video. So, guys, if you like this little review, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to receive more cool, epic, cold reviews like this. And there you guys have it. There was Mr. Freeze. Let me know what you think of this little review, guys. And we'll go ahead and leave it at that. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next review. Bye!